Manchester United have been linked to a number of names. Elliot Anderson, Baleba, Wharton are the main three, but that looks like the summer. Semenya was come up more recently. A few wingbacks have been thrown about. A few young players like Jeremy Jacket have been thrown about as well. But some older players like Harry Kane's name. Could United do a 2-year thing with Harry Kane? Someone for Sesko to learn from. Grimaldo now being linked to United, and well, something is going to happen in January, I think. I think something is happening. United are definitely having talks with players. United are looking around in the January market. The finances are there. And we're going to talk about what we need to know in regards to United in the January window. We're going to talk about some updates on Sancho, a new young star that United could be signing for the academy, some comments made by Ruben Amorim, and an interesting stat on Mbeumo. So, hello, and welcome back to Alice Talks Football, and welcome back to your 10-minute roundup, where I'm going to round up all the latest Manchester United news into 10 minutes for you guys. If you do enjoy today's video, feel free to hit that like button. You're welcome to subscribe down below if you're new, and let's get into it. Barcelona are interested in Harry Kane as they prepare for life after Lewandowski and are ready to sign him. However, Kane is interested in going back to England, with United being one of the clubs most interested in him. Please. Harry Kane for 2 years. Sesko can learn from him. Next season, please. People say he's slow. People say he won't suit Amorim's system. This guy is just world class. When we signed Cavani, everyone was like, well, he doesn't suit what we're trying to do. Well, but look how good Cavani was. Ronaldo was old. Boom. Zlatan was old. Boom. Van Persie was old. Boom. Cavani was old. Boom. Old strikers have done so much better at Manchester United than young strikers. Just bring someone in for 2 years. Give Sesko someone to learn from. Bish, bash, bosh. I would love Harry Kane. Now, that is not going to happen in January, but in the summer, he could be available for around £50 million. And I am all for it. Harry Kane, Elliot Anderson, João Gomez, Semenyo, Jeremy Jacket, those 5 signings, bish, bash, bosh, I would take it. That's all I'm saying. But talking of the January window, left wing back. If we can't get the midfield we want in January, then we are going to talk about João Gomez because we could maybe get him in January. Go for a left wing back. Now, there's talk of Semenyo, but Man United see him as a 10, not a wing back. Grimaldo is an interesting link coming about today. United are interested in signing Grimaldo per journalist Ekrim Konar. He fits Amorim's tactical setup as a left-sided wing-back, having excelled in similar systems at Leverkusen and Benfica. He's got a lot of goal contributions from wing-back, and he's very attacking-minded. And I think with Amorim's system, we need very attacking-minded wing-backs, almost more like wingers than left-backs. I think that's something that we've noticed. Bayern Munich and Barcelona have shown interest, but he doesn't really suit Barcelona. And Bayern Munich, I guess, because he's a Bundesliga player. Leverkusen won €25 million, which is about £20 million. I'm just saying now, I'm not against dropping £20 million on Grimaldo. I think he is probably on the way down in a sense of he's 30, but I'm not completely against it. And the reason I'm not against it is you get 2 years out of Grimaldo and 2 years out of Harry Kane, and people will say, oh, they're players in their 30s, la la la. But we've got Harry Amass, we've got Dorgun, we've got Diego Leon to learn from Grimaldo, and he doesn't necessarily block a pathway. Because if you look at someone like Harry Amass, who played in the Sheffield Derby today, and I know Sheffield Wednesday aren't doing very well in the league, and I know that they did lose 3-0, but we do know that Harry Amass is like one of the only players at Sheffield Wednesday that the fans like right now. And this is what Sheffield Wednesday fans are saying. Harry Amass is clearly going to play at the top level. While it's easy to stand out in this Wednesday team, he's just a step above pretty much always. And then FPL Father says, Harry Amass deserves better than what he's playing with, best player on the pitch, and it's not even close. The Sheffield Wednesday fans just think that Harry Amass is too good for that level. And look, he's doing really well on loan considering the circumstances. And what I think makes it really big about Harry Amass, in my opinion, is he's been playing for a team that is bottom of the league, where it's probably not the nicest environment, where they're on minus points because of the deduction. They're probably going to go down. And he's still performing despite maybe not the best environment around him. Some of his teammates aren't getting paid and all of that. He's still going out there and he's still performing. And I think it's a big mentality test for Amass, which is good. We've got Diego Leon, we've got Dorgu. I think, some people have written him off, but I think there's bags of potential there. But why do I think something's happening in January at Man United? Man United are prepared to make mid-season additions. United are more conscious than Liverpool of their PSR position, but that is not to say January additions are ruled out. United will have to decide whether Brian Mbeumo's arrival makes them less inclined to bid for Semenyo. The former will leave for AFCON, as will Amad Diallo, potentially convincing United to bring in another winger should the right target present. So this was said by Ben Jacobs. United are prepared to make mid-season additions. We also know that conversations have taken place in recent days between Manchester United and Wolves for the transfer of João Gomez. There is hope and expectation is that a move will happen in the January window. Man United are moving money around and looking in the January window. Man United having talks with players ahead of the January window. There's links to Grimaldo. Look, Kane would be in the summer, Anderson would be in the summer, but João Gomez, Grimaldo, we know for PSR reasons we can spend in January. And I think United will spend in January if the right player and target's available. And I think João Gomez is massively one to watch. I do think something is going to happen in the January window with United. I think it's interesting how we're having talks with players and we are looking around. I think they'd love Baleba or love Anderson if they could get him, but they don't think they can get him in January. I think they might try for Semenyo. I don't think you can even test the water for Harry Kane. I think that will be a summer thing. But I think we will look at some left wing backs. We might look at Jeremy Jackett, but I don't think we need a centre back right now because I think we'd only need one when Maguire leaves / in Europe next season when we have more games. But I think United will be looking around. United may wait until closer to January to see what the injury situation is. Like if someone like Cunha got a 6-month injury, then we'd probably sign an attacker. Fingers crossed that does not happen. But it'll be interesting. But anyway, I want to talk about exits. Unwanted Manchester United star faces major exit stumbling block. Sancho's United contract expires at the end of the season. His next move is unclear and his current wages make things complicated. Dortmund want Sancho back, but they won't break their wage structure, meaning Sancho would have to take a 50% pay cut to return. Given his stock is far lower now than when he signed for United, he may not receive a better offer. People are saying that they feel sorry for Sancho. I don't. He did it himself. He could have taken a 15% wage cut to go to Chelsea, but he wanted one more year of Man United wages, and he might have to take a 50% wage cut to go anywhere else. All I'm saying is, if Sancho has a crap season at Villa, which he's currently having, he could have reduced his wages by 15%, but got a 4-year deal at Chelsea. So 15%, but a 4-year deal at Chelsea, or he runs his United contract down another year, has another bad year, and then has to reduce his wages by 50%, he would have actually made less money. It's like, okay, you want to run down United contract so you get a big signing on bonus. Fine, whatever. We know you're going to do that. But when you actually think about it, he's not going to be offered much wages next summer. So he might regret turning down Chelsea. He's struggling to get minutes for Villa at the moment. I am saying this before the Villa Leeds game, so this is probably when he starts and scores. I look like a twat. But yeah, anyway, let's continue on as well. There was a rumour that United might renew his contract to see if they can get money for him, but we're not going to do that. We're not stupid enough to do that, I think. Manchester United are prepared to let Brazilian midfielder Casemiro and England winger Sancho leave on 3 transfers next summer, a decision that would save us 30 million on wages. For me, look, Sancho, he's done it to himself. He loves the money, but bye-bye. Casemiro, I'm open for him to stay if he can halve his wages, but the money we save with Casemiro, Sancho, Rashford, Maguire potentially out the door in wages, you're talking like nearly 50 mil. Reports are coming out from africafoot.com that United City, Villarreal and Anderlecht are all in talks with a 15-year-old academy talent from the Burkina Faso called Mohamed Songo, and he has been turning heads at the Under-17 World Cup. So he's 15, playing at the Under-17s World Cup. Named to remember Mohamed Songo, not watched him play, but Man United, Christopher Vival is very good at finding those gems out in Africa. And I will say this, I think African football is going to explode. I think they're going to create a lot of world-class players in the future. So I think it's really good to try and get the best youngsters. Ruben Amorim was asked some questions about football and how much he watches football. He says, I really focus on the game. I watch a lot of managers, what they are doing, trying to steal some ideas. I spend most of my time watching teams play. After the first team training, after the break, I have a clear vision on where I need to improve. So Ruben Amorim says, I really focus on the game. I watch a lot of managers, what they are doing, trying to steal some ideas. I spend most of my time watching the team playing. After training, after first training, after the break, I have a clear vision of where I need to improve. Amorim is saying he watches a lot of football. He watches a lot of other teams, but he watches his team a lot. and he thinks he knows where we need to improve. And last but not least, to round up the 10-minute roundup, but Brian Mbeumo's off the ball running 169 is the highest in the Premier League so far this term. Some people say that he just gets goals and stays high and doesn't do much, but Brian Mbeumo does a lot more than he gets credit for. His work rate is phenomenal. Anyway, people, thank you for watching. See you next time. Bye.